Okay, so we're Supplri and building our what we call our spend intelligence cloud. Before I dive too deep into that, I just would love to tell you just a little bit about Supplri, a little bit of background on the company. We're founded in 2016. We're backed by great venture capital firms like Madrona and Shasta and Workday Ventures. We have partnerships with the large ERP vendors and with Kearney. And of all the things on this slide, I'm most proud of the progress we've made with our customers, and we've got a large customer base with a global footprint. But I'm really proud of our Net Promoter Score. So, we really have aligned our company around Net Promoter, which is the likelihood of our customers to refer other customers as being kind of the critical benchmark of success. Which is just a validation of our focus on great product and customer success, just really and 64 is actually very high for an enterprise software company. What does Supplri do? What we're really trying to do is build out a new category around spend intelligence. We're building what we call the Spend Intelligence Cloud, which enables executives to basically predict and continuously optimize their sourcing, their forecast, their risk, their compliance for both their finance teams, their procurement teams, and their business leaders. So our vision is that anybody that spends money within an enterprise or has budget can now use Supplri to proactively get recommendations on how to spend smarter instead of kind of struggling with spreadsheets and business intelligence systems. And so for us, it all comes down to three core capabilities: data plus insights and actions that then can help you optimize costs and cash flow. And we believe the future is all about predictions, and we call this whole piece of Supplri spend agility. So, and then in terms of where does Supplri fit, what we do today, we view us as a system of intelligence. So we sit on top of your enterprise systems, and we're aggregating up all of the spend data, your supplier data, your risk data, and then making predictive predictions and recommendations on how to operate your business more efficiently. So what we believe is that there's a category called spend analytics or analytics, which traditionally is part of the sourcing suite, where a Scout might be, or certainly Ariba is the one of the first and probably the most dominant of the procure to pays and the source to pays. But we believe as technology evolves around machine learning and predictive intelligence, the data becomes more and more important to the future of an enterprise. And spend analytics evolves from just being a point solution to being what we're calling a system of intelligence that's going to be fundamental in strategy and planning, and will be very complementary to what the source to pay and the procure to pay are doing, which we would just call systems of record, which are very focused on workflow, execution, and process. What does Supplri do? We do three things. We focus on the integration of three key core capabilities. So you could say it's data, it's insights and action, or data management, data science, and collaboration. So the first thing that Supplri does is that we aggregate all the data from both your internal systems. So if you have one system like Workday, or if you have multiple systems like a different ERP, procure to pay, contract management system, T&E, corporate card, or other operational data. So for example, Nordstrom is uploading store level information. BT is basically using Supplri to basically track spend against their sales and account management function. We all, because we're a modern architecture and we're cloud first, we also have the ability to pull in third-party supplier intelligence data. We'll pull in, we have relationships where we're pulling in risk data, diversity data, news, social media sentiment, SEC filings data, and then often customers actually upload or integrate data directly from the supplier. So now Supplri then cleanses, normalizes, categorizes, enriches that data. And now the data in Supplri is better than the data that sits in any other system in the enterprise. So we provide you with that single pane of glass and great, easy to use analytics.
I would presume since you're getting feeds from Ariba, Coupa, and so on, this is indirect spend, right?
We do indirect and we do direct as well. So it just depends on the use case. So I'd say indirect is our bread and butter, but many of our customers will also put in direct. And we're starting to see more motion with direct first, because a lot of the data complexity and the dirty data challenges on the direct side are very comparable and are technologically applicable to that as well. Okay. We then provide you with great analytics. So we provide analytics around spend, around your purchasing, around your suppliers and your contracts. And where Supplri differentiates is really our insights and our insight library. So think of Supplri as a financial firewall that's always on, constantly looking for opportunities to help your company run more efficiently. So Supplri we have a library of more than 175 different insights that are looking for opportunities that could be very transactional, like T&E and PO compliance, to more strategic, like supplier consolidation, demand aggregation, cash flow optimization. And when Supplri finds an opportunity, it can send an alert to the right person on the team. That person can then assign it to somebody else on the team and then hold that person accountable to resolution. And so the core of artificial intelligence is training data. So the reason that this is so important now is that Supplri can then capture the feedback from all of the different insights and the different activities that a procurement, a finance team, or a business unit are executing on Supplri, and feed that back into our insights platform to optimize our insights over time. So that's why
I presume most customers are looking for financial insights, right? You mentioned diversity.
Yeah.
Has that increased since this summer? Is that becoming more of an insight?
So supplier diversity, so we're launching a series of supplier diversity insights and supplier diversity management products. So and I would say since the summer, like supplier diversity has become a larger focus for procurement teams and for management teams as a way to help kind of leverage their spend to drive more opportunity in the economy and in society. And so that was the natural add-on for Supplri.
Okay.
So with that, let me just turn over to a quick demonstration. Let me get out of this mode and let me share my screen. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
My camera over here. All right, so this is Supplri. Basically Supplri has, this is our insight, it's an intelligence platform. So the first page you land on is very much our insights library. So here, you can basically see that we have a large number of insights that range from the very tactical, like preventing fraud in terms of employees using PayPal or Google Pay and potentially paying themselves or potentially working around the procurement process, to things which could be more strategic, like budget overage, demand aggregation, early contract renewal. I'll come back to these insights in the end, but ultimately these insights are in this ability for Supplri to constantly be looking for opportunities and then kind of integrate into our collaboration and workflow is kind of our secret, our differentiator from our competition. But I'd say what's equally important and a key part of our vision is very much the use of analytics and data to power the enterprise, and then empower anybody in the enterprise to make better decisions. So here, what we get a lot of positive reviews is our consumer-like interface and experience typically in enterprise data, which tends to be very messy and kludgy. So here, what you can see is you can easily see how your company is spending. You can understand how your suppliers are organized. You can then see your spend source, your currencies, your categories, your business units, your cost centers and accounts. And what we see a lot of our customers doing is very much kind of slicing and dicing their data. So, let's say you just wanted to quickly understand how you're spending on your P card, and you can see that, even though we're in the middle of the pandemic, our P card spend is up. And then, search is a core capability of Supplri. So we have
the category of spend. Do you give them a taxonomy, or is it customer by customer?
So we have a we do both. So we enable our customers to custom either to work with us and do a machine learning driven categorization where we'll help them create a taxonomy and then build training data so that we can categorize it. Or, if they don't have a perspective on their own categorization, we do have a prescriptive categorization. We find it most useful to really work closely with our customers to build out the categorization, which most suits their needs. So, what we can then do, like if we want to talk about category, let's just look and understand how our IT spend is growing. So you can see that here, very easily our IT spend is going up. So now what you can also see is you can dig in and try to understand, both, why it's going up. So you could look at the suppliers. So you can see that Hewlett Packard is not a preferred supplier, but the spend is up 200%. You could also look at your sources and your categories. So you could see that, IT consulting and your telecom expense looks like it's up. And you can also see that, your headquarters expense and your UK subsidiary, the spend is up dramatically. Let's just dig into HP just as an example. So as you dig into HP, the first thing you notice is that all of these insights show up. So here with these insights, what we can do is we're now kind of we can predict, so we can help predict spend, but we're also delivering prescriptive actions to the end user to say the next best action in terms of what the end user should do in terms of managing your Hewlett Packard spend better. So you can see here, I'll clear out this category filter, but you can see the Hewlett Packard spend is up 200% year over year. You can see exactly the sources and the currencies and the categories, but it's pretty obvious here that you can see that your Zeus banking unit, for whatever reason, is spending with Hewlett Packard, and that spend has gone up dramatically. We also pull in both all the contract information for Hewlett Packard across your contract management system. We pull in your POs from your PO system or your procure-to-pay. And then we also do all the supplier mapping. So, for a company like UPS or IBM or Uber, where you may have 30,000 different mappings, that's one of our core use cases for AI. So if we go back out to the insights, the key for us with Supplri is proactively making recommendations to customers and how they can spend more effectively. So here in this case, let's look at demand aggregation. So with Hewlett Packard, you can see that there are two business units that are spending with Hewlett Packard, and they're potentially not on an MSA or not on the same contract. So what we can do is we can basically create a new case to track this. So let's say we can create a new case. We could say, here is a new contract negotiation. We could say, let's HP contract renegotiation. And we want to basically aggregate demand into an MSA. You can basically, you can add different case types. Here we have our own, the case type is cost savings or cost management. And I need to just make my screen a little bit smaller so that I can get this, and then I can hit save. And then, you can assign it to somebody else on the team. You can basically add a due date. You can add a prioritization. You can assign it to Hewlett Packard. And then you can hit save. And then you can close it. And then you can see that the case basically will track basically all of the information in this, and then you can track all the data that you had for that demand aggregation. But you can also see all of the you can then track all the different people. You add different case managers, you can add subscribers, you can add comments. And so you can now leverage project management to basically see how this case gets resolved over time. And then if you look across all of the different cases and all the different insights at the company, you can now start tracking how different managers or in the finance and procurement team are managing these insights, as well as kind of track each one of the different projects you have. And all of that does boil into kind of savings tracking for the company. So that's just a really quick example of kind of the flow between data, analytics, insights, and case management or collaboration. And over time, this just continues to get smarter and smarter.
Okay. How did they do it? How did your customers do this in the past? In spreadsheets, or how the workflow you showed? Was it mostly in spreadsheets?
Yeah, mostly it's in spreadsheets. So I'd say that most of our customers either don't have dedicated contract management, or they have, dedicated spend analytics, or they're using kind of spreadsheets or Tableau to do it. What Supplri enables is we enable you to basically have this integration between data, analytics, and collaboration, and replace email, spreadsheets, and a bunch of ad hoc systems that people use throughout the company. Great. So, I mean, we're really excited about the future. We've got great customers and we've got great engagement. And, for now, like, we just launched our collaboration platform here at the beginning of November. And, one of our customers already is seeing kind of dramatic results. They've experienced kind of a 5x ROI just on with the overall product pretty quickly, just through the tracking and the savings and the insights.
It's great. Made a lot of progress since I met you 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I think when we talked 2 years ago, the company was just getting started, and now we have a significant set of customers and significant traction across the various components of the product.
Any patterns you've seen during the pandemic that are unusual?
Yeah, I would say that in general, what we saw with our current customers is that Supplri was kind of the first go-to place that they went to in terms of managing their spend and expenses. So pandemic hit, it was clear there was going to be a revenue shortfall for customers. And so generally, the finance team turned to procurement to either dramatically cut spend or to push supplier payments out. We have multiple customers that through using Supplri and both the recommendations of Supplri as well as enabling more people to rapidly access data quickly, a number of our customers were able to reduce their overall spend with their monthly spend by 10 to 25% over the course of 2 to 3 months. So for large retailers or even technology firms that serve retailers, they were able to weather that storm and proactively partner with their customers and push their payments out quickly.
Any supply chain implications you've seen from your point of view?
From a supply chain case, we tend to see that we've partnered with Kearney, and they're pulling us into a lot of complex supply chain challenges that customers are going through. So some of them are similar to procurement, where it's supplier selection, supplier consolidation, and negotiation. The second area I would just say is that where it's different, we're seeing a lot more, obviously we're seeing a lot more focus on risk, supplier risk, and financial stability. At the same time, we're seeing customers want to kind of eliminate smaller suppliers and riskier suppliers throughout, the supply chain. So we're definitely seeing Supplri being used from a consolidation perspective and a tail spend management perspective in a much bigger way.
Sounds great. So you'll have diversity soon. So your use cases keep growing.
Yeah, I mean, our core bread and butter is very much kind of sourcing, strategic sourcing, supplier management, procurement operations. We're also seeing a lot more from a budgeting perspective. So from the fall is very much when we see a pretty significant use case where companies are in planning mode in terms of, when you do the bottoms up, you never meet the tops down. And so you always have to find savings or ways to, find the extra $25 million to make the budget work, either within within a category or overall. And so we're seeing more and more budgeting and planning use cases, which is an area we're starting to build out more insights and more capabilities. It's been great to reconnect, and we're really excited about the progress that we're making, and look forward to keeping you updated on the progress.